Afternoon, everybody. This is the Lunchtime show, or should I say Lunchtime Live. I have a few stories that I am running across, and some of them are crazy. Um, I don't know what's happening nowadays. It seems like the youth care less and less about life itself. They're willing to take long term actions, or should I say actions, but long term consequences in just a split second. So this morning I talked about a situation where there was a young man with a promising future who was shot at a Waffle House in Richardson, Texas, and he was left paralyzed. He's a paraplegic. He lost the ability to walk, and now they were looking for his suspects, and now they have made two arrests in his shooting. Um, his The two arrests are actually two very young men around the same age as the victim. So the first should I say his first suspect, can't talk straight. His name is Taylor Griffin. Taylor Griffin is 18 years old. And the second one is Charles Webster, who is 17 years old, which is crazy because these are children, very young children. And they are responsible for the shooting of Seth Jackson, a Richardson High School student. And according to the reports, he's permanently paralyzed from the waist down. And he's still currently in the ICU recovering. This is super sad story, super unnecessary. So they made two arrests of these young men. I'm going to put their faces up here on the screen if it would allow me to. Yeah. So this is the young man. One of them name is Taylor Griffin. Other one's Webster. So this is Taylor. He's 18 years old. I'm not too sure if he has a history. And then this is the 17-year-old. So I don't know if they went to the same school as the Seth Jackson, but this is how these are the two men who were accused, or should I say, or suspected of shooting him. Craziness. This is reported by Fox 4. And then we have another story out here in Texas. A Fort Worth officer was killed. Drunk driver going the wrong way. Her name is, oh goodness, Deajale Evans. Evans is a person. She was actually on probation for a previous offense where she assaulted a lover with a weapon. So she was already on probation. Her terms of probation was that she was not to consume any alcohol. Well, at the time of the incident, she had already consumed 10 shots of tequila, and she was driving the wrong way when she struck and killed Officer Billy Randolph. Billy Randolph was working a car crash on 35 whenever Evans, who was driving the wrong way, struck and killed him. Well, Evans wound up pleading guilty to manslaughter right before the trial, right before her jury trial. So she pleaded guilty to intoxication manslaughter of a peace officer, and she was currently on probation for assault as well. So I will see this. I will let this. I will let this video play, and then see what they have to say.
Locals love Good Day.
Where locals?
Go where the locals go.
The woman accused of killing a Fort Worth police sergeant while driving drunk pleaded guilty moments before the start of her jury trial. Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Casey Stiegel. Thanks for being here. It's 9 o'clock. DeAngele Evans pleaded guilty to intoxication manslaughter of a peace officer this morning. Evans admitted she killed Fort Worth Police Sergeant Billy Randolph after having more than 10 drinks and driving the wrong way back in August 2024. Fox 4's Peyton Yeager was in the courtroom this afternoon and joins us with the live update. Hi, Peyton.
Casey, and for the first time in court, we saw body camera footage and dash camera footage of police officers on the way to the hospital performing CPR on Sergeant Billy Randolph in the back of the squad car and begging for him to pull through. We also heard testimony from fellow Fort Worth police officers trying to recount that tragic morning in August of 2024. In a police interrogation video shown to a Tarrant County jury Thursday afternoon, DeAngele Evans admitted she had more than 10 shots of.
What kind of name is DeAngele? DeAngele? Okay.
Tequila at a party before she hit and killed Fort Worth Police Sergeant Billy Randolph on August 12th, 2024. Investigators later determined Evans had a blood alcohol concentration of 0.12. Evans pleaded guilty to intoxication manslaughter of a peace officer at the start of her trial Thursday. Now a jury will decide her punishment. In the opening statements today, prosecutors urging jurors not to let Evans escape accountability. The defense team not offering any excuses, but arguing this was, quote, an accident. Evans was driving the wrong way onto.
What that have to do with anything? I can't stand people who do that. After they killed somebody, they took somebody's life forever. It was an accident. So, especially after you got intoxicated driving the wrong way when you were not even supposed to be drinking or doing any of the activities you was doing that night. Good riddance. Go to prison.
To the I-35W exit ramp when she struck Sergeant Randolph, who was working an overnight 18-wheeler crash scene. Evans continued to drive for a quarter of a mile and tried to run away. She later told police conflicting stories of what she remembered, adding she also didn't have her glasses on. At the time of the crash, Evans was on probation for shooting her girlfriend under strict guidelines to not use, possess, or consume any alcohol. We spoke to Russell Wilson, an attorney not associated with this case.
Defense and the defendant may have concluded that it would be better to accept responsibility for the conduct and then attempt to what we would call mitigate it.
The maximum punishment, life in prison. The jury must unanimously agree on a number.
They deliberate about it, but there's not a specific methodology to it.
And today's testimony ended with two crash investigators showing pictures of the crash scene, including Evans's shattered windshield. The jury also saw photographs of Sergeant Billy Randolph's bloody badge and bloody vest. Now, testimony will continue tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
That is something. Oh, I think she realized that she was just going to lose that. And so she just went ahead and pleaded guilty, which is smart, don't get me wrong, but you still took someone's life. So I have no sympathy for her. So I want to know something though. Whenever people drink alcohol and get behind the wheel of a car, do they realize that they are putting so many people's lives in danger? Not just their life, but other people's lives as well. Like the cops who can be working a crash, pedestrians. I lost several friends in high school to drunk drivers. So whenever I see drunk drivers get prison time, I have zero sympathy. So I have another story from Riviera Beach. So they have the mass shooting suspect. He's 20-year-old, what is his name? Tremont Gibson. And this is his court appearance. So this caught a lot of people's eyes because this young man clearly is trying to play mentally ill. Now, I already know that he's not mentally ill, and so does the jury. So nobody's buying it, basically. And, well, him and his attorney gets into it right behind the stand in front of the judge. Like, his attorney is trying his hardest to help him. Sir, be quiet. Let me handle this. But he's dead set on showing people that he's crazy. Well, no one buys it, not me, and definitely not the folks in the courtroom. So I'm going to pull this up and we can watch and I can dissect, of course.
First-degree murder, capital crime, carjacking, firearm, punch blank life. Four counts, several first-degree murders, firearm, also punch blank life. What was it? Possession of firearm by convicted felon? They did not see you.
So he's been charged with first-degree murder, capital murder. He committed a mass shooting. So I think these are very befitting charges. I'm going to say that.
I see that on this page here. You don't see it on the.
I don't see it on the booking.
Okay, so we're just dealing with the counts I said, capital, robbery.
It's contained in the narrative. I don't know why it's not contained in the bookings. But regardless, Your Honor, all of these counts are capital or punishable by life. The state is asking the court to hold the defendant without bond. I have written 2 no contact orders for the same case because there's so many victims.
Well, no contact with any witnesses, no contact with family members of the deceased, no contact with any of the actual victims who are thankfully still alive.
Thank you, Your Honor. And they are all listed on these no contact orders. And of course, no weapons.
Again, they're all either a capital crime or a crime punishable by life imprisonment. That's anything.
We reserve our right to remember hearing later time.
Gonna be
Our office has a conflict, will be withdrawing. I
told
advise
Mr. Gibson
that.
Mr. Gibson, right now the public defender is doing good. Public defender represents you right now. He said they're going to submit an order later.
Can I say something before we start?
Not in your best interest. For you to say it. I'm not going to stop you, but it's not in your best interest.
Okay.
Just step back off the microphone a little bit.
Okay. So, sir.
Sorry. It's getting feedback. That's better.
How you doing, sir? So my problem is I be seeing things, sir. So I'm in the courtroom, sir. All the police that I be seeing, they don't be coming to open the door for me. Well, it's one of the police that's in the room last night. He was actually a good person. Sir, I be fighting things that y'all cannot see. So therefore, how can you put someone in jail that's fighting something that you can't see? When I was on the highway driving, it's 3 cars. What's the devil's number? 6, right? It's 3 cars.
I just love the way that police officer is staring at him like we've heard this all before. This is nothing new. I don't know why people think that mental illness is a get out of jail free card. It's not. I honestly think that if you know you have a mental illness, if you know you're seeing things, if you've received a diagnosis before, it is your responsibility to keep that in check. And you do not have a right to wreak havoc on other people because you didn't keep your disease in check. That's not a good excuse. And I'm so glad that that officer is just giving him all kinds of looks as he's talking.
Every time I went hitting speed, I'm at a speed limit. I see 3 cars every time I hit the gas. Ain't no cars on the road. It's just me. It's 3 cars that pop up. 1, 2, 3, then it's 1, 2, 3 again, right? Okay, the people that were supposed to be killed, they didn't die, nobody died. Obviously, right?
Well, one person did. You do have 1 count.
Nobody died, sir.
I'm just.
You want to show me how?
No, I'm just.
I shot every one of them people.
Nah, shut up, man. Let me talk. I can't talk to the judge, bro.
Everything you're saying is being recorded.
Okay, let me talk then. If it's being recorded, then it's being recorded. I shot every one of them people in the head. They're not making it back. My cousin, he was supposed to die. That dude that hit the floor, oh yeah, he died. A lot of people were shot in the head, sir, and went back up right in front of my face. So, therefore, how the can you wake back up in front of my face after I shoot you? How are you gonna wake back up? Please tell me, sir. That's impossible. You cannot wake back up after somebody shoots you in your head. And if you check that camera, you can tell that these people are with me. I'm chilling to myself, sir, right? I'm chilling on the bench with my cousin Elmo, right? Okay, so why you keep talking to me and you not letting me talk to him? I can't even hear you, sir. I can't hear you.
Someone needs to tell him that this is not how insanity works. If you can paint a scenario, if you can describe your surroundings, you're not insane. That's not how it works. If you knew that there were people around and there were people around, that means that you are aware of your surroundings. Your reality is not altered, at least not to the extent that you don't know what you're doing like that. The truth is, this young man is putting up an act. If he's not acting, then it's just drugs, and the hallucination will leave him. But until then, this is not crazy. He's not crazy. This is not how insanity works. And plus, the people who are in charge of determining who's sane and who's not sane, these people are experts, and they can see straight through this.
No, it can't be used against me because I'm talking what I can, what my heart need to tell whoever listening, bro.
You need to tell that to your attorney when they get
Man, okay, let me talk. Okay, I don't even need you, sir. I ain't gonna lie to you. I do not need you.
I'm trying to protect your
Please,
rights.
I don't need. Can you please tell me shut up, Judge? Please. I can't even talk. You're not even.
He's trying.
Thank you, sir.
He's trying to give you advice.
But, sir, I'm fighting something I can't even see. I see it at night. I see it now looking at you. I don't know how to fight it, sir.
Mr. Gibson, what I can tell you is that your attorney that you're going to get from ORC,
Okay, no camera, sir. I'm sorry.
the attorney that you're going to get can file motions to determine whether you're, number one, confident to stand trial, or whether you were confident at the time. And that's the time that you should be discussing these issues. You shouldn't be discussing them now.
When I was in Stony Brook, sir, and I had that gun, that wasn't my gun, first off. That's
not talking. He's gonna set you later.
Look, sir, I don't care, because I'm speaking the truth in my heart. I don't care about shit you saying, I don't care. I'm talking to that dude right there, the judge right there, I'm talking to him. I'm not worried about that, what nobody's saying. I'm talking to him. I need to get this off my heart.
Mr. Gibson, we're going to be done for now. So you don't have any bond, you have an attorney. Hold them.
Yeah, so this is him. That's him. This is not what he think it is. That is not how insanity works. You are going to prison, sir. You're going. Bite the bullet. Go ahead and just realize that your life is over. Because this young man did something that was horrendous. So, Tremont Terrell Gibson, 20-year-old Florida man, accused of violently shooting two people a violent shooting in Riviera Beach on March 16, 2026. The shooting left 2 people dead and several others injured. He is he appeared in court on March 18th, and they describe his behavior as erratic, even though he admitted to shooting the people. And he also claimed that he was fighting demons. Yeah, okay. That demon speech, let that go. If you are really in psychosis, you can't describe anything around you with accuracy. And he was just pinpointing too much for him to ever claim to be crazy or to be insane. So to prison he shall go, and to prison he shall stay. Okay, so next up is a young man. He's 18 years old. His name is Caden Fontenette. He was sentenced to 25 years for armed robbery. And this was done in, her name is Judge Raquel West. Well, this young man made a mistake that he sorely regrets in that moment, because the judge clearly was not playing. She thought that it was time for him and people who thought just like him to pay a price for their actions. And I also happen to agree. I do not want people to, I don't want people who are just hurting people to roam the streets. It's not right. So this is Judge Raquel West, and I forgot the state that this is in. It's in Jefferson County. I want to say this is Illinois. I'm not too sure. I'm thinking it's Illinois. But this is his sentencing. And also watch the reaction of his family as well whenever they hear that he's getting 25 years in prison. Yikes.
prayer vigils and advisory committees. All of that stuff's fine, but you judge where the rubber meets the road. You are that person that can protect the community from somebody like this defendant.
I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division.
That was an outburst in court today after a man who terrorized a store clerk with a gun is sentenced. The prosecutor and the judge, Raquel West, citing recent violence like the shooting at Rogers Park in Beaumont and how they view crime and punishment. Good evening. It's 6 o'clock. Kimberly is off. The Jefferson County District Attorney's Office listening to the public's plea for harsher prosecution against violent offenders. Judge West making it happen during sentencing today. KFDM's Amon Abraham live in studio with reaction here at 6. Amon.
Aaron, we spoke with District Attorney Keith Giblin, and he says times have changed and the ongoing violence involving teens need to stop or they'll suffer the consequences. Judge Raquel West sentenced 18-year-old Caden Fontenette to 25 years behind bars for aggravated robbery. The terrorizing crime at a Nederland convenience store last year was captured on video. Prosecutor Tommy Coleman showing the video capturing the moment the teens ran into the store and raised their firearms at the clerk. The Jefferson County District Attorney's Office is sending a clear message to violent offenders. They should prepare for tough prosecution and longer sentences. Coleman brought up multiple violent crimes, including the shooting at Rogers Park and others, saying enough is enough. The district attorney says it goes beyond just this case.
The time is come to be even more punitive on violent crime than we have been in the past, and we have been, but we're going to ensure that justice is done.
We asked District Attorney Keith Giblin what citizens should expect after the shooting at Rogers Park.
I agree with this 100%. I never was a fan of letting a 16, 17, 18-year-old just get probation for violent crimes. I honestly think that if we would have done more to the previous generation whenever they committed violent crimes, it would have discouraged a portion of the youth today from committing violent crimes.
On Sunday.
From our office, I can tell you right now, our investigators and the Beaumont Police Department are talking to not only the victims that were shot in the incident at Rogers Park, but also people that were traumatized, people whose homes were hit, people who ran for cover. We're going to try to do everything that we can to address this situation.
A recent KFDM poll asked people what they think should be done to reduce crime. A majority said stronger prosecution. Reporting live in studio, Iman Abraham. Aaron, back to you.
Yeah, so I am in strong favor for stricter punishments. My thing is, if you're 18 years old and you need money, what happened to getting a job? I mean, that's what I was told to do at 18. You broke, you need some money, go get a job. There was no reason for this young man to do what he did. I don't care. Do not give me no excuse of, well, he grew up in a bad home, or he didn't have support at home, or his dad left him, or no. There's too many people around, just too many people in society today, period. On social media, on TV, outside, wherever. There's too many people who are an example of what to do. If you're broke, you get a job. If you don't have a job, you start applying for them. Ask people, how do you get a job? You just simply do what needs to be done in order to get what you need. Robbing people, committing crimes, hurting people, wreaking havoc is not what you should do. I don't understand as to how do these young men even get these ideas in their head? Especially considering that A lot of people have spent time in prison, spent long periods of time in jail, or on probation, especially whenever you hear the horror stories of what happens in prisons. Why aren't these young men scared to go? Because if you think about it, as a woman, if someone told you that if you do this act, the place that you will go afterward, you can be violated, most of us won't go. Most of us will be strict law-abiding citizens. But for some strange reason, these young men are not scared of that. They think that somehow or another that consequences will skip over them, or they're exempt from bad things happening to them. And I got to understand where that comes from, especially considering that these young men come from homes where either daddy's in jail, older brother is in jail, mama's boyfriend has been to jail, and none of this scares them. And I'm pretty sure that they hear horror stories about being violated, being beat up, people doing some horrendous things to other people. Like, why would you want to go to a place filled with people who are capable of hurting you? That would never make sense to me. If you're going to go out here and do anything, let it be the right thing. Let it be something that's worthwhile. Let it be something that if people told you about it 20 years later, or brought it up to you 20 years later, 30 years later, 40 years later, you wouldn't drop your head in embarrassment. Going to prison is embarrassing. Going to jail is embarrassing. Committing crimes when you are an able-bodied young man who is capable and in demand in most workforces, but instead you choose the laziest possible way of acquiring things, which is to take it from other people who have put in the effort to earn them. That in itself that's rotten. And I don't care what anyone says. That's come from parents who don't teach children from a very early age that if you break the law, you go to jail. If you go around hurting people, you're wrong. And whatever happens to you afterwards, whether you get hurt in the incident or you go to prison, that's right. Is right. When you do wrong, the consequences is right. That's how it is. But for some strange reason, it don't click to them. It don't click to them that breaking the law benefits no one. It benefits no one. It doesn't benefit you because you don't have a future anymore. It doesn't benefit your family because they have a hole in their hearts and in their household. It doesn't benefit the public because you traumatize people. And not only do you traumatize people, but now that place or wherever he was robbing, it now has a reputation of being a place that gets robbed. So think about the people who would want to patron there. What about the lost customers, the economic hurt that those people have to endure because you felt that it was your birthright to take away something that someone else earned? I don't know about that. Well, I do know about that, but I don't like the way we just phase over that. We don't teach youth that. It's almost like we victimize criminals and criminalize victims. We teach the youth that they should be given second chances or they should be handled with some sort of dignity and respect after they have done the worst to other people. That's the most horrendous thing that we could have ever done, was tell the youth that they deserve compassion after they have just been straight barbaric to other people. I have zero sympathy. And his family, I just think that once you have someone in court that has done a tremendous amount of hurt to other people, whatever sentence is handed down, you should shut up about it. You can go ahead and cry your silent tears. Go ahead. But do not make outbursts. And if you do make an outburst like that, I think you should be put in jail, because that is so insensitive to the victims. But anyways, I'm just go ahead and move on to my next story. Well, this is on a much, much lighter note. And I hate to talk about entertainment news because I hate celebrity gossip, to be honest. You will rarely hear me talk about celebrity gossip unless it's about someone who is doing something that it should be talked about because it's a cautionary tale. And one of the things that I am going to talk about today is a young lady by the name of Chrisean Rock. Chrisean Rock was a young lady who was dating a rapper they call Blueface. I'm guessing. Well, she did an interview with the Danza Project, and in the interview she says some of the most stupid things you could ever hear. He brings up her son, Chrisean Jr. And there's a person who writes in about Chrisean Jr.'s disabilities. And she gets angry and she says, "No one needs to talk about my kid. My kid does not have a disability. He's totally fine." And she goes on this religious rant about she doesn't want to speak it over her child because if she speak it, then that can make it true, even though it's already true. And not only is it true, it's evident. It's grossly evident. And there's been a number of people who have spoken about it. And I wanted to know, like, when are the CPS people going to get involved? Because this is not a matter of she can't afford it or she doesn't know how. This is a matter of she doesn't want to. And that's not a good thing, because this young man clearly needs help. He clearly does. He is 2 years old. He's not able to walk. He's not able to talk. He's not able to eat food. He is not doing well whatsoever. And I also noticed that this young man, I've seen several shorts about him. He's not doing well. Like, there could possibly be some neurological issues with the young boy, because there's just moments where he will make noises, the same noise over and over and over again. And I'm not talking about like the new normal toddler stuff, like annoying stuff that they do. I'm talking about making cat noises, which is a super apparent sign that something's wrong. Because first of all, children should not be sounding like cats. And especially if he is 2 years old, he should be getting to the point where he's making less sounds and he's more communicative with words. But he's not. This young man is clearly he's in a state that he needs a lot of help. And I saw a short of this young man, or should I say this? I can say he's a guy. He's a rather popular YouTuber, and he made a video about Chrisean and how horrible of a mother she's being to the young man. His name Chris. I keep mixing these names up. I don't know why she named this baby Chrisean Jr. He keeps bringing up how she's not a attentive mother to Chrisean Jr. and how he's just going about life and not receiving the help that he needs. And I'm gonna show you a clip from his video.
Get this child the assistance that he is likely going to need going forward.
Hold on. There it goes.
Forward. And if it's anything I could do, help, I'm here. The part that really messed with me is that Blueface doesn't seem active in the child's life because of his disability. Hold on. I feel like that's what triggered me, and my anger overpowered my message. You're in the right now, and I'm here to support and congratulate you overly. So I said my son does not have a disability. He is developing at his own pace and hitting his milestones in his own timing. Every child.
This is not true. There's a standard to development, especially when someone is this young. I want to say that 18 months is the latest that a child should be walking. If a child isn't walking on their own at 18 months, then that's indicative of a problem. And I want to say when it comes to talking, it's 3 or 4 years old for talking. Let me see before I start quoting it. Please age a child. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It says that late talkers usually start talking between 18 to 30 months. So they should be able to say at least 1 or 2 words by the time they're 18 to 30 months. And while 46% of late talkers catch up on their own, 18 to 20 months without words, or 24 months without 2-word phrases are common milestones to warrant a pediatrician consultation to rule out delays. So it says when to see a professional. Oh goodness, this is a long thing. It says 12 months. At 12 months, they should be able to babble or make gestures such as wave or point. By the time they're 15 to 18 months, they should be able to say some words. And about time they're 3, that's expecting. They should have some sort of consistent speech pattern. So this little boy is 2 years old. At 2 years old, they should be able to have, they should be able to say a wide variety of words. So they should be able to say like phrases. No, stop, pick me up, put me down, stuff like that. They should be able to say that at 24 months. But he's doing nothing. This young man is, he's still making cat noises at 2 years old. And that's hard to see.
It's different, and I'm confident in his growth. If I said it, he had a disability, then but it's like,
don't tell me.
I ain't say none of that.
For context here, she was reading some messages about someone who they had some drama, and this individual said that The thing that messed them up most was, Blueface not being as active in the child's life because of the child's disability. That was the claim that was made there. She then snapped back saying that her son does not have a disability. He's developing at his own pace. Then, in a minute here, I'll show you the clip where she starts making a mention of, doctors, like how you can't believe a doctor when they're speaking ill on your child, that kind of thing. Now, of course, I'm not a doctor, but for reference, most babies will begin the walking and talking process, getting a word out from 12 up to 18 months. That's when they'll start to hit these milestones. Typically, that's the normal range. She is right though, every child is different, so some take a little bit longer. However, it has been over 2 years. It's been, 27 months, and her son still is doing none of that, and also seemingly still having a hard time sitting up on their own too. That does seem like there may be a disability there, and the fact that she references a doctor speaking ill on her child makes me believe that when a doctor was informing her that this might be the result of a disability, she took it as an insult and that this doctor is just some kind of worse for the kid.
See, this is why I hate a lot of religious people. I do believe that in the Bible it preaches, if you're sick, go to the doctor. You can't pray away illness. You have to do something about it. What does the Bible say? Faith without works is dead. So if this young man is not hitting his milestones, and the doctor themselves has said there could be something wrong with this young man, then I do believe it is time for her to put her pride aside and do what needs to be done for her baby.
Just because she refuses to say it doesn't mean that it might not be true.
It's not even just that. It's like, say if someone, a doctor, anybody speak against your kid or yourself, then you should not accept it, bro. Yeah. Anybody. If they're guessing or whatever, no. The word said what the word said. God said what the God says. I don't have to accept what you. So it's really like me, protecting a revelation that I heard from the Lord over my son. Yeah. And then it's redirecting that energy back to that mouth, that tongue, that powerful tongue. Who said I had it? Who said it?
Now, recently, Chrisean Rock made a big
I'm sorry, I was talking and I was on mute once more. So, Chrisean is delusional. She's out of it. She is in denial. And Chrisean Jr. is the one who's going to suffer the most for it. Chrisean Jr. is disabled. He has a disability. He has struggles, and he's going to need tools and therapy and a way to cope with the struggles that he's going to have. He's going to need a responsible person in his corner who can help him, because Chrisean at the moment does not seem to be that person. When a person is born with a disability, they already have a long, arduous road ahead. And as a parent, if you're going to be a parent of someone who has a disability, you're going to have to swallow your pride and do a lot of things that you never thought you were going to have to do in order for your baby to reach certain milestones and have a chance at life. Because as of right now, I don't think Chrisean Jr. is going to have a good chance at life. He's not going to have things that he needs in order to excel. He's not going to be able to enjoy society the way most others do. And that's because his mother is failing him. Whenever you don't get your disabled child help, that is abuse. That is not something that should be done. And I hate this for him, because he seemed like such a sweet little baby. And he doesn't look like he's quote unquote too far down the spectrum to not live a normal life. Yes, he may need some corrective surgeries, and yes, he may spend his entire childhood in special education, but he needs to have these things, and he needs a mom that's not going to sit here and try to pray his disabilities away, because they're here to stay. She's responsible for them partially, and he may regret her or resent her for them. He may resent her, and I hope that he does not. I'm not gonna say. How do I say? I hope he doesn't get worse. Because this isn't good. So I have one more story that I wanted to talk about, and it was probably one with a young man. Yes. Let's see. I want to say... Where is the news story? Uh-oh. Let's see. I know I have it. Okay. It was about another shooting suspect. Yes, so here it is. Doo-doo-doo. So this one takes place in New Orleans. This is about a Tulane police officer shot and he killed a suspect in the CBD, which is the Central Business District. And 2 other people were hurt. Let's see. Doo-doo. Oh, there it goes. Bam.
Medicine turned into a shootout across the street. Now 2 people are in critical condition in the hospital.
Tulane University Hospital left 2 people shot, including a Tulane maintenance worker, before Tulane officer shot and killed the gunman.
WDSC reporter Cassie Sherm is live at the scene and shows us how witnesses say the chaos unfolded. Cassie.
That's right, guys. So what started as a struggle in the bushes over here at the Tulane School of Medicine turned into a shootout across the street. Now 2 people are in critical condition in the hospital, and the man who had the gun was shot and killed by Tulane police.
I'm just listening like pop, 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 pop.
This is video of what unfolded. Witnesses say the sound of gunfire sent people running for cover.
Are you surprised when you saw this happen?
Oh, I'm surprised when I opened the door.
He saw 2 victims already down in the street.
Wait, I see the gentleman that worked at Tulane, one of the maintenance men, he's on the ground. It's an older gentleman, and another young dude, young little black guy. He was just stretching, he had got hit in the hip. Wasn't moving at all no more. When she walked back on this side of the street, it was no more.
Moments later, police filled the scene and started investigating as blood bullet casing street across the busy intersection, relying on surveillance video to get a better picture of what happened.
And an unknown person, perpetrator, engaged and just immediately attacked a person who was walking down the street and pushed, and there was a struggle that ensued.
NOPD Chief Ann Kirkpatrick says the struggle escalated in seconds.
The perpetrator stood up and turned around and shot the person who he pushed into the bushes, and there was a struggle. So he stands up, he shoots, and at the same time there is apparently another person who works for Tulane, I think we can have confirmed that, who worked in the maintenance, and he was walking down the street with a garbage can. So the perpetrator starts to cross the street, and he comes back a couple of times, and when he comes back he continues to shoot. And a Tulane police officer engaged.
Give me 1 second. I have to be right back. Sorry about that, y'all. I am going to have to end this stream and I'll come back later.